Hey guys, megagamer551 here, and I'm here with your favorite LPer for this interview. This is Blink and You Miss It.
Hey,
So yeah, so Blink. Yeah, I'm not too good with
yeah,
yeah, I'm not too good
yeah,
with intros. So Blink. What
yes.
was your first game system that you ever received?
Um, Depends on if you're talking about console or just system in general.
Whatever you want.
I I originally played just random computer games on a PC, but my true first, video game console was a GameCube.
Yeah, and as a follow-up question, which what was your first GameCube game?
PK Out of the Shadows. It's a Disney Donald Duck game that a friend of mine, I think he either gave it to me just for the heck of it, or he let me borrow it, or something like that. And I still to this day remember playing that game, loving it, and yet dying to get Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah, I've actually never heard of that game. Is it like a platformer or what?
It's it's sort of let me see if I can kind of put this in words well. It's think sort of a little bit more. Oh, okay. I have a better way. The game Shrek 2.
Yeah, like
Um,
the fighting
Take
kind of
that,
style.
make it. Yeah, take it that, make it Disney, and give Shrek a gigantic laser gun, and make him Donald Duck, and you have PK Out of the Shadows.
So a green Donald Duck with a laser gun.
Not green. It's just
Oh,
it's
yeah,
similar kind of platforming gameplay, kind of cartoony thing.
yeah.
It's
I'm
designed to look like a comic book, sort of like Ultimate Spider-Man.
oh, or like Comic Zone.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm just picturing like a green Donald Duck with Shrek ears, and giant laser gun. All right. Next question. What's your favorite kind of games, or like style, and just favorite series or whatever?
I really like a mixture as far as the genre. I mean, I'm actually currently playing through Super Mario Galaxy 2 as well as
Metroid Prime.
Batten Kaitos Origins.
Oh,
Well, I'm personally playing through,
oh,
just
oh,
not let's playing.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and Metroid Prime is another good example. I mean, so I mean, I'm kind of all over the place with genres. If it's a good game, I'll play it. Doesn't matter what genre it is. But if I had to like say, okay, well, I will play nothing but this for a year, I would probably say adventure games, stuff like Fable 2, The Legend of Zelda, uh, stuff that fits into that range because there's so much you can do and there's so much you can be immersed in
So
that
something like Paper Mario or
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it could be an RPG, it
yeah,
could be anything like that, just as long as it kind of has that more,
adventure
uh,
feel,
yeah, adventure
like
feel, yeah.
questing stuff.
hmm
Yeah. All right. So what would be your favorite either type of movie or just your favorite movie?
Um, hmm.
Do you like Tron? Tron's a good movie.
I've actually never seen Tron. There's a few Disney movies that I just never saw, and that's one of them. Uh, but as far as type of movie, again, I really don't have a specific type that I enjoy more than another, but I do. I would say if I was forced to choose a movie, I would say the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That was a good.
Um,
Those were good movies.
yeah, I personally I have just a really close connection with those movies. I don't completely know why, but I just really love those movies. They're really good.
Yeah, I remember you
Um,
saying something about you're like a fantasy writer in one of your update videos, or you're an
mhm.
aspiring writer. So
Yeah,
with
I've been working on stuff like that. Actually, it's kind of funny because video games got me into writing.
huh,
I don't know if you were ever a member of the Nintendo Insider forums
no,
um, back in the day, but I was on those before they were closed down in mid 2007. And what I did basically was I discovered fan fiction on there. I discovered fan fiction through being on the Zelda forum, and I I just decided to give it a shot, and I liked it, and people who read it liked it, and so I was like, hey, this is cool. So I started just writing a whole lot of fan fictions, and then eventually I left the forum and just never really stopped with the writing and kind of got my own ideas for things and kind of went on from there. But I think it's kind of funny that video games got me into fantasy writing, which, writing and gaming are not two things you'd normally think would go together. But
Well, unless there's a game guide involved, but usually not.
I've written one.
You have? For which game?
I've written. Well, it was never published to a site, but I wrote a Metroid Prime 2 walkthrough back in like 2005 or something. It was, it was okay. It was definitely influenced by Lighter Fluid 6's. I still remember the guy's username. Just some random dude who wrote a Metroid Prime 2 walkthrough on GameFAQs. But I was really interested in, kind of sharing the game with my friends. But of course, Metroid Prime 2 is not exactly a game that bodes well for the casual gamer because it's very, very complex and it can be very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, I think I was in like 7th grade, my friend let me borrow it, and I only got to about maybe the Dark Suit, and then I gave up because it was just too difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of the Majora's Mask of the Metroid series.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the difficult, weird,
it's kind of like the dark,
kind of black sheep title that most people don't like, and the people who do like it love it.
Yeah, it's not like the black sheep kind of Mario 2, but it's the black sheep, like, more so it's the darker side of the story.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like Majora's Mask is...
Yeah, and so I guess that was also kind of the first roots of Let's Playing, if you will, because it was because I wanted to share the game with my friends, and I was trying to come up with a way that they could play through it easier, and so I just started writing a walkthrough of it, and just gave it to a friend, and he ended up making it almost all the way through the game because of the walkthrough I'd written him, and so I just thought that was really cool. I don't remember how we got on this topic. I guess from writing or whatever.
Oh, yeah, movies.
Oh, movies, yeah.
We've come a long way from that, huh?
Yeah, definitely. If I had to choose a recent movie that I loved, I would say The Last Airbender, despite the fact that it got butchered in the reviews.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really
The
good.
only reason I didn't see that was because I wasn't a big fan of the cartoon. The only thing I liked in the cartoon was the big flying looking yak thing.
Appa, yeah.
Yeah. And Momo. Momo was pretty awesome. You seen the movie?
Unfortunately, that's one of those love it or hate it movies, especially among the fans. Me and all my friends who went to see it were big fans of the show, and we all came out loving it. And then we've heard of groups of people going to see it that absolutely loathed it. But I thought for what they had, it was really good. I mean, it wasn't another Aragon. Aragon was just horrible.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I have the book, and I still haven't read it. I'm not a huge reader.
It's a good book. I would highly recommend it. I just would recommend reading it before you see the movie.
Would recommend?
I would recommend seeing it, reading it before you see the movie, because otherwise the movie might really
ruin it.
Make you just so it'd make you so disgusted with it that you wouldn't even want to give it a chance when the book is actually really, really good.
Yeah, it's like the Harry Potter books. I did that for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like 6 when I read those, so I still remember most of them. Yeah. So, are we done on this topic, or do you want to...
Sure.
Alright, so, what would be your favorite bands, or what kind of music do you listen to?
Again, one I'm kind of everywhere on. On my iPod, I've got, everything from rap to classical. Honestly, if I had to say what I was currently listening to right now, I've been listening to a lot of the Super Mario Galaxy 2 soundtrack.
Yes.
Video game music's always been really special to me, just because it's kind of got that movie soundtrack appeal where you kind of get that. I don't know how to put it. You have that personal connection to the music because you've seen the movie or you've played the game before.
Yeah, and like if it's a retro game or something, like a game you played as a kid, it just brings back a whole bunch of memories.
Yeah, nostalgia and
yeah.
it becomes really special. And so movie soundtracks and video game soundtracks have always been very special to me, both for the nostalgia factor and also just because they're usually really great.
Yeah.
Particularly, if I had to say what my favorite game soundtrack I've ever heard is, I would probably say, Twilight Princess, because that one had just so many great little themes and scores throughout it.
Yeah. I like.
So, yeah.
I think I like maybe Minish Cap the best.
Mhm.
I have Minish Cap, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, and Ocarina of Time on my iPod.
Yeah.
But I have to say I love Minish Cap the best because I don't know why, but that game just is amazing.
That is one of the few handheld Zeldas that I've played simply because I usually I basically have very rarely delved into handheld gaming.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a DS, so I'm definitely hoping to get a 3DS.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah,
Except I hear it's not going to be backwards compatible.
The Ocarina of Time remake.
Yeah, I want to get the new Paper Mario. That looks good too.
Yeah, that looks cool.
And then the Kid Icarus.
Mhm.
All the games look good. Damn you, Nintendo, making me buy things.
Great E3.
Huh?
I said Nintendo had a really great E3.
Yeah, unlike Sony and Microsoft.
Well,
the Kinect
their
and
problem was they announced everything we already knew.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, hey, you knew about this 6 months ago. Let's talk about it. And Nintendo's like, well, hey, look at this. We got new this, new that. We're bringing this back. We're doing this and that. And,
Yeah.
3D gaming and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was really cool.
I already pre-ordered Skyward Sword. I pre-ordered it the day I bought Galaxy 2.
Oh, nice.
So, and I'm not sure about Metroid Other M. The gameplay style looks kind of cool, except I don't know how it's going to be controlled.
What I've heard is you hold the Wii remote sideways,
and then when you want to shoot a missile or go into first-person view, you have to point it at the screen.
Right.
So it's going to be kind of like Paper Mario in a sense, or you know what I mean? Not Thousand Year Door,
yes,
but
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think it could be kind of clunky, but if they did it smoothly enough, then I could see it working really well.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a really great game, and I do definitely want to get it. I just don't think I'll be like waiting in line on launch day, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. From what I've seen, the gameplay, if you look at the gameplay videos online, I think it's Nintendo Media something.
Nintendo Media Summit, yeah.
Yeah. I subscribe to them, and the gameplay just looks like Samus running around and jumping on enemies and charge beaming their faces off. So, I'm not sure.
It's kind of a return to Super Metroid-esque gameplay, which
yeah,
in a way I like, but I'm such a huge fan of the Prime Trilogy that I was really disappointed that they didn't continue in that.
Yeah, I bought Prime Trilogy before it was... No, I bought it like way after it went out of print.
Yeah.
And I also got the guide, which is really useful because it's for all 3 games, and I have Prime for GameCube, so...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I'm currently playing through Prime 2.
Those games, the first one was one of the first GameCube games I ever got, and actually, and there's a little bit of a funny story with Prime. It was kind of the game I was never able to complete, not because it was too hard, my dad rented it for me when I was sick one time, and so I started playing through, but there's this glitch that can happen in that game where when you enter the first elevator of the game down to the Chozo Ruins, the game will freeze. And so, over the course of a year, I rented that game 3 times, and every time I got to that elevator, it froze. And it was from different locations. It was different places I was renting from. So I figured, surely this time it'll work. And it froze every time until I actually bought the game.
Seriously?
So, but by that time, I was so curious that I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to play this game, and it is not going to glitch. And it never did. It was a perfect disc for the entire length of time I owned it.
Yeah. It's a Nintendo marketing technique. They make the glitches in the Blockbuster copies.
They just send in like covert agents to like, okay, we want you to scratch the disc exactly here.
Yes.